Hey, welcome back to the Hotel Orloff. So, you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, that you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Well, it sure looks like we're on the eve of destruction here. The stock market's crashing, and well, we got a major war breaking out in the Middle East. So let's ignore the world and have some fun here on this beautiful Monday morning here in August 2024. How are you guys doing? I've been, this room, I've called it the Bat Room because I've got a lot of Batman stuff in here. But I'm starting to just make it a general toy room. It's a work in progress. It's a project that is in progress. So we're having fun here in the Monster Corner. Anyway, the goal of this room is to make it like Christmas morning all year long. Well, we just got a package in the mail, so let's go upstairs and open it up, shall we? Gotta be quiet because my wife's asleep. Wait a second, I gotta get something. Okay. All right, well, we're back in the comic book crypt, the sanctuary, the inner sanctum. Let's see here, man. Let's set up this. There we go. I found some of my old title cards. Tell me down below which one you think's the best. This was done about 3 years ago, trying to make the show a little more professional. But how about this one? Or maybe this little simple one. Gradually, I'm starting to find things as I unpack. Yeah. I found my magnifying glass. Oh, it's all dirty, man. I've been looking for this, quite often. I won't be able to read things, and I'll need my magnifying glass. Well, here I found it, and I put new batteries in it, too. remember these? These were cards that you could send in the mail, but they were also placards. This one belonged to my older brother when he was in college, and it's from Roth plaques. No relation to Big Daddy Roth. What is this? Oh, no. Okay. So, I got some cool stuff in the mail just a little bit ago. I also got the property tax statement for the next year. That was a fun thing to get. But that's not what I'm talking about. Look, I got this little freebie. This came from Gotham City Comics. Now, Gotham City Comics is in Mesa, Arizona. It's the finest comic store in the civilized world. And I got a lot of stuff on hold with him, but he's the nicest guy in the world. I send a little bit of money and I get some stuff, and I try to do that every so often. I don't have a local comic store or any, so he's my local comic store, even though he's about 7,000, I don't know, about probably 47,000 miles away in Mesa, Arizona. This is a Garbage Pail Kid Martian. How about that? Looks very good. That was a little freebie he sent with the package. And he sent this, and it's good that this warning's on here that it could be a choking hazard, because I was thinking about putting this in my mouth. The magic of fire ears. It produces light from your ears. It says, amaze your friends. I think I'll keep it on the card. Although I've always wanted red light to shine out of my ears. Batteries are included. It's made in Taiwan. See, this is what I needed. I want to see how old this is, so I used my magnifying glass. And it's from 2000, so it's almost 25 years old. So the batteries in it may not be good anymore, but wonderful little gag gift. They call these kind of things rack toys, because they'd always be on a rack with a little spindle that's stuck, and I used to see them in 7-Eleven and the 5 and dime stores. See, I'm showing my age when I say 5 and dime stores, because now they call them dollar stores. And even when I was a kid, the 5 and dime stores, you really couldn't get anything for 5 cents or a dime. I know them as 5 and dime stores because that's what my mom and dad called them from when they were growing up in the 30s. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Well, Kevin Johnson, the owner of Gotham City Comics, is only a phone call away. Just call him up on your walkie-talkie cell phone, and he'll steer you with there's some cool stuff actually coming out. Did you know that this week, in a couple of days, there's a facsimile of Police Comics #1? I think it's Police Comics #1. But anyway, the Police Comics that had the first appearance of Plastic Man, there's a facsimile of that coming out. And speaking of facsimiles, here's one that's been out for a while, but I'm just now getting it. But I imagine if you call up Kevin Johnson at Gotham City Comics, if he doesn't still have this particular one, he's got a bunch of these 50s pre-code horror facsimiles. Now, you can't touch the real pre-code horror comics unless you're insanely rich. But these reproductions, these facsimiles, are something, I mean, instead of paying thousands, you pay about 15, what is this? This might be like a $15, $16 book, actually. But it's very well done. It's a little seal there. Facsimile edition. How about that? How about this, ladies and gentlemen? I'm really happy with this new trend of facsimile comics. I think it's wonderful, actually. All the original ads are inside. Oh, look at that. Increasingly, I have very little use for the comic book industry. I despise it. I like the comics I grew up with as a kid. And there are some comics coming out today that are good. This is a book that's coming out today that's good. I was informed about this book from Kevin Johnson at Gotham City, but other than that, Marvel, DC, they're just trash, and they've been that way for decades. And they don't do anything for me. So the only reason I'm interested in a comic store is to get old comics from back when I was a kid and before, and for these facsimiles that reprint. I mean, this is the best. This is the closest you're going to come to handling one of these pre-code horror books in your hands, unless you got an inheritance or, well, I don't know. Actually, the whole comic, this stock market crash today is going to tank. No one can afford anything. Let's face it, the world is. I have been told, or I've heard in multiple places, that September is the month to watch out for. That things are going to get real bad in September. So everyone's saying stock up on water and get a generator, get beans or ice. I don't know exactly what that means. It's going to happen in September, but they just said, oh boy, just be ready for September. I think it's all probably an intentional thing. They want things to get so bad, no one has power, and they say, well, we're just going to have to delay that election. We just can't have the election with all this unrest. And then, that's because they know they can't win. Oh, well, not to get political, because we don't get political here. Okay, so that's one amazing comic that's out. Oh, he sent me a couple of bags and boards. That's very nice and very appreciated. I don't know what this is, but it was sent to me free. It's a Gotham City Comics exclusive. And I guess it's some new character. Possibly it's a new Harley Quinn, like a new girlfriend for the Joker. I'm just guessing, because I know the original girlfriend for the Joker, as established in Batman the Animated Series, is broken up with him. So I don't know what this is. It looks very anime looking. It's not, this doesn't look, this isn't what I'm used to. I'm used to the artwork of Alfredo Alcala and Marie Severin and John Buscema and And seeing this artwork is just, ugh. But I just saw something I liked. What was that? I saw an ad in here. This is an ad for some other comic called Batman and Catwoman. I think this came out about 3 years ago. And that artwork is legitimately good. That's really good artwork, you gotta admit. I don't know if the comic's any good. It says it's a 12-issue thing written by Tom King and art by Clay Mann. This is from 2021. That's when the comic market was doing well. Things were going well for the comic market back then, or at least the back issue market. Because everyone had all this extra money. They were getting stimulus checks in the mail. So people were having to stay home and work from home. So they couldn't really go out and spend money. They just were home. And then they were getting checks from the government giving them extra money. So all these people started saying, well, let me start investing in these comic books. I see these Marvel movies. Maybe the comics they're made from are good investments. Anyway, so all these people started buying these older comics and slabbing them and putting them on their wall. And now the values dropped to about half, what they were. Oh, well. What can you do? This book is out now in your local comic store. It's the first issue of Justice League of America. One thing you'll notice now is today they just call it the Justice League. They don't call it the Justice League of America anymore. I like the Justice League of America. Later in the 80s, they started a Justice League Europe and different Justice Leagues. But I like the old stuff. And this is from several years before I was born. This is a facsimile. This is not real. It's a fake comic. So what they do... Interesting. It's clearly marked as a reprint. But July 19th, 2024 is when this is so. But the original comic was from 1960, I believe. This wasn't the first appearance of the Justice League. They first appeared in Brave and the Bold, but this is their first issue of their ongoing series. It has all the ads reproduced, but you can tell from here and here that it's a reproduction. Or if you know anything about comics, you can tell it's not real. But also the price. It would have been 10 cents, not $3.99. But other than that, and then there's a little miniature barcode on the back. But other than that, that's the ad that would have appeared. Yeah, $1.98 for 204 Revolutionary War soldiers. All the original ads. They even kind of sort of replicate the feel of a newsprint paper and the kind of printing processes that they had back then. It looks pretty... DC does a better job with these facsimiles than Marvel does, because Marvel puts their barcode right on the front, which spoils the vintage look of the comic. Anyway, Justice League was DC's attempt to bring back the Justice Society from the 40s. And just fantastic. So this is the kind of thing I like, man, because I'm never going to be able to afford a Justice League #1. Oh, I'm doing really badly with this fundraiser. I can do well with a fundraiser, because there was a friend of the show was having trouble, was going to be evicted in a few days from her house. She needed to raise several $1,000s, actually 4,000, more than that. She wound up raising 5,000. So I was notified of this by the Comic Frog, as I recall, and so I spent hours altogether over a span of 3 or 4 days. I spent about almost 24 hours, if you add it all up, trying to raise money, and other people did it too. And of that 5,000, we probably raised about half of it from this show, maybe approximately. But I can shill for other people, but right now we're having some real financial problems here, and so I come on and say, hey, we need some money, and it's like I've gotten 11 really good, loyal people that watch this show have donated to this GoFundMe, and we raised like $328, but we need a lot more than that, because we're really having trouble with my wife's health. My wife has not been doing well, and other problems. And so I started this GoFundMe. If you could see it in your heart to help with $20, $30, or even $10, or if you can't do it, just say a prayer for us, because things are kind of going bad. She's been in a lot of pain. This is the GoFundMe address. I'll try to, maybe I could put it as a link. You can click on it and you don't have to copy this down. But I'll try to put it as a link down below the video title of this show. Anyway, so it's https://gofund.me/1D as in dog, 48B as in boy, 26A as in Allosaurus. Anyway, if you could help us out, if the things have gotten bad. I almost just canceled this entire channel 2 days ago. It got that, or I was putting everything on private. I was just going to hang up the show and not do it anymore. And then my wife changed my mind, but it probably would have been better. It probably, because really, I don't know. If the show gives you any entertainment, just help us out. A couple of friends just sent us a check. Actually, I take it back. It's probably more than 328, because 2 friends sent us a check in the mail, and that's not counted in with the GoFundMe total. So we really did raise a little bit more money than that. But please help us out, man. If this show's provided you any entertainment, I, of course, ask you on the day the stock market crashes. That's, if you didn't happen to be in the stock market, send us a few money. Send me some money. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think he's tricky. Sometimes he sends some free comics along. Because pretty sure, I ordered this one, and I had another one in my pile, this one, and I think he sent it along as free. But that's the benefit of being a good friend. You got it. He's a great guy. This is a Fantastic Four I need for my Fantastic Four collection. This is 102. That is called Staple Rust. It's all right. It's from being stored in, I guess, a humid situation. Oh my gosh, look at this. Then house ad, Conan the Barbarian is on sale soon. I've never seen that ad before. The Comic Mag event of the 70s. some people think that when that issue, the first issue of Conan the Barbarian came out, that was the beginning of the Bronze Age of comics. I disagree. It makes sense, but to me, just for my benefit, and I'm probably just in my world, my truth is that the Bronze Age started when Marvel Comics groups started going across the top, as opposed to this corner box. But at this point, Kirby is, there's some moisture damage. It's always appropriate when there's moisture damage to a book about the Submariner. It's just on the cover. Yeah, this is going to be one of the last Jack Kirby issues. He left for DC to and then he came back to Marvel a few years later. He's doing the inking here. Joe Sennett. I've always called him Joe Sennett, the inker, Joe Sennett, but I hear people on YouTube saying Joe Sennett. It's like, oh, really? Is it? I don't know, man. I hope it's not Sennett, but it could be. It's like, well, how do you know how to pronounce the name any more than me? Well, some of these people go to these conventions and line up and get their comics autographed by people. I never was one to do that, and that's how you learn things like the artist Herb. I always thought it was Herb Trimp. But then now I've become aware that it's Herb Trimpy. And but comic books are very solitary. It's a hobby. It's an embarrassing hobby. It's something you used to do as a kid, and you read them, and there were a couple of friends you knew that also enjoyed comics, but for the most part, kids in the 70s weren't into comics, and then to the 80s, kids all got into video games, and now no kids read comics, period, unless they're just very weird, eccentric kids with older dads that have taught them about this, Just like there are kids today that aren't really into cell phones. Not many, but oh well. Fantastic Four 114. You see, by this point, Kirby had left, and John Buscema had come in and was doing the job. So this ad here, Robert Bell, he's the guy that invented the comic bag. But he's advertising a 48-page Marvel pocket checklist with separate DC comic list and protective comic bag for all three for only 50 cents. Over 100,000 comics in stock. I never ordered anything from him, but some of my older friends of mine that are a little bit older did. Here's an ad for the History of Comics from Super Graphics. That was Jim Steranko's company. Occasionally in this time period and in the early 70s, Steranko had left comics, but occasionally you'd see a really cool Jim Steranko cover, like out of nowhere, on the cover of Jungle Action, or maybe on the cover of a Western comic, and it's like, well, I thought Steranko left. Why is... And I think what he was doing is every so often he would trade doing a cover for free ads in these Marvel comics to sell his new projects. And he was starting a magazine called Comic Scene about the comic industry. And then he decided, hey, I don't want to just talk about comics. I'm going to change it to Media Scene and cover movies and TV and everything. And that way, I'm not just talking to comic book writers. I can also interview movie stars and stuff. And I think that's what he was thinking. And so yeah. What else do we have here? We have some Bronze Age horror. I need to get my. I gotta look at them. When you visit the Hotel Orloff, you can get one of these amazing Hotel Orloff shirts. Actually, you can't. This is a one-of-a-kind that was sent by a wonderful person, a wonderful viewer. I'm not sure if he wants his name said on camera. Oh, and you can donate anonymously to this, because there are people that seem to not like this channel very much. Well, they like the channel and they like me, but they don't want everyone else in the comic community to know that they like me, because, you know, I don't know. Apparently I've offended people, so that's all right. Okay. I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. Oh, yeah. Okay, here's an issue of Chamber of Chills that I just got, and from Gotham City Comics. And I've got this box. I started pulling out my Marvel Bronze Age horror, because this Bronze Age horror stuff means a lot to me. It's what, it was my second, third grade, fourth grade. I loved it, all the horror comics coming out from Marvel and DC. But this is Chamber of Chills. Let's see. Oh man, here's Chamber of Chills #1, and I don't have a bag, but he just sent me some bags. All right, so Chamber of Chills would reprint older 50s pre-code horror comics, and then there would be new stories too, and it was a mixture. I think that changed during the run of the comic, and then it became all reprints. But you can tell the older art. It's wonderful, but it looks different from the 70s art.
Stay with us for a while, and it won't be long before you find you've gone native.
Yeah, Chamber of Chills lasted for a while. Look, I've got 2 copies of the same issue from the 30-cent era. That was 30-cent era. You're getting into around the bicentennial era, right? Let's see, because comics went from 20 cents to 25 cents, I think, at the end of my 3rd grade year. So that would have been early 1974. And so all of 4th grade, 74-75 school year, comics were 25 cents. And I think they went up to 30 cents. Well, this is November of 76. So Very end. Okay, so that November of '76, I was in 6th grade, and by then, Chamber of Chills was all reprints. In this case, the Giant Monster reprints from the late '50s. So I notice how often I say on this show. It's really incredible. Okay, so I'll put this one in a bag. I lent my tape to my wife. I don't know where she put it. But this one is the one I just got, number 24, which I've never had. I don't think it. Let me make sure I don't have, watch me have it. It didn't look familiar. They also had Chamber of Darkness. There's Chamber of Chills 20. No, I don't have this one. So this is probably going to be early '76, which will probably, I imagine this is when I lived in Tacoma, Washington. Let's see. It says September, so it's probably September of '75. Let's see if I'm right. No, September '76. So I was back in Texas, living in Arlington, Texas at that point. This is a reprint, but a more recent reprint. It's a reprint from Creatures on the Loose number 11. So this is a reprint from about probably 1969, 1970. You can just tell the artwork is more recent. And people have long hair. Guys have long hair, I mean. But the other story, this is from Marvel Tales 113. At this point, it was really good because they would tell you where they reprinted the story from. That was very helpful. Marvel was pretty good about doing that. This one says it's from Tales to Astonish number 12. Standard 6 that's forward. The call for 350 cubic inch V8. Headlights out of sight to U-turn on. Fold out rear seat. Okay. 24. Oh! Okay, this is 24, that's 25. To fever, catch it at your Chevy dealers. If you guys freeze frame, man, donate to this, please, and just you have no idea how much that cheers up my wife when people donate, and I can't really explain to you the situation, how bad it's been, and you think, well, everything's great over at the Hotel Orloff, he's always smiling, but you know, if you could help out, you really need it. I know everybody's doing badly right now. But I can't do many shows, you know, I just can't do many shows when things like this are going on. This was my, this is the first one I got as a kid. This is my childhood copy. I couldn't, that's so amazing. This Chamber of Chills number 1 I got later. That's not a childhood copy. Okay. Now I need my Fantastic Four box. voice on this commercial. That's Blossom Dearie, that sang a lot of those Schoolhouse Rock, that Schoolhouse Rock music from Saturday morning, remember, on ABC. Like Figure Eight. That's Blossom Dearie. She was a jazz singer.
From exotic Tahiti, from the sunny Mediterranean countries like Turkey and Syria. These pure natural ingredients do cost much more, but Hires root beer pays more because it's this exclusive.
She passed away a few years ago.
That makes the Hires taste great. Get out of the rut. Get back to taste. Get back with Hires.
Okay. Fantastic Four 114. I started putting these shows up on Rumble as well, so if you'd rather watch this on Rumble, the Rumble channel, it seems like you can compare. I think the colors seem a little more muted when you watch it on Rumble, but Rumble is more of a free speech platform. It's probably just me being able to see well. Okay, here's 115, which I think is the last of the Silver Age Fantastic Fours. So 114. And then I think Bank of America is now called Visa, isn't it? So I don't have 112 or 113. I have 114, 115, and then I have 2 issues of 111, 2 copies of it. See that little star? That means it was bought at a military PX. It was stamped. When you buy a book, they stamp it there. Or they used to. I don't know what they do now. Kind of have a feeling they don't even have books at the PX anymore. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. Then I'm missing 110, 109. I think this is another book I recently got from Gotham City. And then 108. Looks like I'm missing 107. Here's 106. I'm gradually filling things in. Remember in the 80s, when my friends and I saw this cereal at the supermarket, we thought it was so funny. And so now I have a box. There's nothing in it.
Let's get together with the glass of Schlitz, real gusto, and rate like beer. So let's get together with the glass of Schlitz, real gusto and a rate like beer. Schlitz, Bucky.
There's a good place to put a Big Brother is watching you sign. Oh. Okay, I was in the middle of something. I got distracted. I never liked McDonald's growing up, man. I always liked there was a place called Burger Chef. That was my favorite, but that business. And then Burger King is very similar to Burger Chef, but Burger Chef was cooler because they had the burgers were prepared the same way, char grilled, char broiled, char grilled, whatever you call it. But Burger Chef had better toys, and they had really cool toys. They went out of business. There was a great place in San Antonio. I think it's still there. You can still get Jim's hamburgers at either Jim's Coffee Shop or Frontier Burger. And speaking of San Antonio, listen to me. If you were a fan of the Comic Crypt of Castle Hills on YouTube, he changed his name to the Memory Crypt of Castle Hills here on YouTube, and then his channel was taken down. He's been gradually putting up all of his old shows on Rumble. Almost all the shows that you remember. I don't know how many. Every time I go, he's put up 10, 20 more episodes. So if you want to watch all his old shows, and he might be talked into doing a new one. And if I do a live stream at just the right time of day and the wind's blowing just right, he might pop on one of these days. He's come on my live streams before. He's a good friend. And he lives in San Antonio, and that's my hometown. Although I've only lived there 7 years of my life, but I still kind of consider it my hometown. And in a way, I've always considered Virginia to be my home state in a weird way too. I've only lived in Virginia for 1 year while I was in second grade, but my mom's family on her mom's side goes back to Virginia. In fact, they're related to Robert E. Lee, so that's pretty much Virginia. So anyway, what I'm doing now is I separated my DC horror, or some of it. So I just got this new to me, Witching Hour comic, number 70. So I think I separated my Witching Hour comics and put them into this. Well, I didn't. That means my Witching Hours are still in one of these boxes down here. So, wait, did I put the Fantastic Four up without putting... I also have 102 here. I didn't put 102 in the box. I got it. Oh, well, let's just go over there. I'm not going to move the box. I'll go to the box. It's like a Rubik's Cube kind of maneuver to get to the box you need to get to. Where do I put you, man?
Burgie's the comfortable beer that wets your thirst with splashing cold beer fresh with every fresh ice cold time. Because it's brewed
Okay.
soft brewing is why Burgie really tastes good. Easy to take glass after comfortable glass. Burgie, the comfortable beer.
This is a great issue, and if you want to be one of the speculator idiots, the people are starting. I'm sure the value of Doctor Doom covers is going up because they announced Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doctor Doom. It seems like stunt casting to me, and really kind of stupid, because they need to bring him back and have him be Iron Man, because they've got an Avengers movie coming out in a couple years, and they don't have Iron Man or Captain America. They don't have all the Avengers. They got rid of them. So they're going to have young versions of the Avengers. Okay. Stupid. But Disney's all part of the evil. They're all part of it. And they own a lot of stuff. They own ABC and all that. Oh boy.
Well, why do you like to shop at Piggly Wiggly?
Piggly Wiggly was a great store. I love Piggly Wiggly. That's where I would buy Crack Magazine and things like that.
Incidentally, here are today's big values worthy of your attention.
Well, I got two things. These are new that I got from. The covers are kind of similar. It's number 8 and number 13 of Secrets of Sinister House. So yeah, the covers are kind of similar as far as a giant animal kind of menacing someone in sort of the same pose. All right, let's first of all look at Secrets of Sinister House number 8. From that wonderful 20-cent era that's very the SSP racers, man. I just found one of my SSP racers, and then I found the little plastic cord that you pulled out. And I need to send one of those SSP racers across the floor before this episode's over. In fact, we ought to go do that here in a minute. See, there, all the horror titles that they had: Swamp Thing, Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion, Weird Mystery, yeah, Phantom Stranger, House of Secrets, House of Mystery. They don't mention It's Midnight, The Witching Hour, and Ghost. There were a lot more than just what they mentioned there. Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion was more for, well, it was kind of more for girls. I mean, everybody can enjoy it, but it was like it was aimed at the gothic horror romance girl crowd that loved Barnabas Collins so much. Of course, guys like that show too, but you know, that's pretty much always been a genre that women were into, the gothic romance and the Wuthering Heights and all that stuff. Yeah. I just have to be amazed at this Alfredo Alcala art. This ad always entertained me also. Secrets of Sinister House. Oh man, it's confusing. What's confusing is they had Secrets of Sinister House, right? This is my childhood copy of that. And then they also had a comic called Secrets of Haunted House. And see, the logo looks very similar. Or as the kids today call the trade dress, but that's a logo. I have to keep, I studied advertising in college, but they never talked. Trade dress was not a term hardly. But, okay. Trade dress is everything. Trade dress includes the DC logo, where they put the price. That's how you know that you're looking at a DC comic. That's all part of the trade dress. If you're just talking about the title of the book, that's called a logo. And it's always been called a logo. Trade dress, like I say, like I could look out the window and look across the street to the park and see a little red can and know it's a Coke. I can tell, even with my bad eyesight, that's a Coke can. Because a Coke can, even if I can't read the letters on it, I know, okay, it's always going to have cursive writing, it's going to have the little white swoop, it's going to have red background, it's a can of Coke. It's the way it's been for over 100 years. Well over 100 years. So that's the trade, that's the Coca-Cola, the words Coca-Cola, that's the logo. Everything that makes it look like Coke is the trade dress. So anyway, Secrets of Sinister House. It looks like see, you get confused and you think, did Secrets of Sinister House become Secrets of Haunted House? But no, because here's the first issue of Secrets of Haunted House. It wasn't just that the comic kept going and they just changed it from Sinister to Haunted. It was two separate comics. And see, this is the earliest issue I have of that. For some reason, I didn't pick up the first 13 issues. I think I was too busy buying House of Mystery and Ghosts, because Ghost always delivered a skeleton on the cover, and I like skeletons and skulls, and that always attracted my first, second grade mind. And then there was also Weird War. That was an amazing, that's another horror comic they didn't mention in that ad. There were tons of them. Here's Secrets of Sinister House number 13. So the first Secrets of Sinister House that I showed you, that I bought as a kid, is number 14. So this is the issue before it that I just got in the mail today. I happened to be outside when the mailman pulled up. So let's see. So magnifying glass. I feel like I've got my groove back, my mojo, now that I have my magnifying glass. This used to be part of the old show back before all the, we're going to get back to the roots of the Gratu Orloff show. We're going to forget about all it's going to get back to the roots. And the people that are going to be around are going to be people with a sense of humor and that don't get easily offended. September 73. Okay, so that's beginning of third grade, but actually this would have come out about now in the summer of 73. This would have come out, if it's dated September, it would have really come out in July, because comics are always dated 2 months. So, Secrets of Sinister House.
Carnation for cooking.
Carnation for coffee.
Carnation for baby feeding. Good.
Oh, this, I had almost all of, I didn't have the woolly mammoth. Well, I had a lot of these didn't survive. I've got parts of them. I've got the cave somewhere in the bear. I think I know where that is. Yeah, I love that stuff. The reason it didn't survive is those were snapped together model kits. You didn't glue them, and they just fell apart too easily. If I had just been smart enough to glue them, but they were kind of meant to be almost like toys. The bear, the cave bear, the Allosaurus, the arms would move, and you could kind of play with them, and then they just fall apart. But that was. This is Secrets of Sinister House number 13. I always want to get Bronze Age horror. This was I love pre-code horror from the early 50s, but I can't afford it, and I would love to have tons of it. But this was my childhood. The 70s stuff was my childhood, so and it's still relatively affordable. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably dig into the H boxes to get into the House of Secrets. Yeah, Phantom Stranger was a great book. This is one I bought when I was a kid. This one here. Oh, so I've got some romance comics in here too. They have a reproduction. I'm going to put this Laurel and Hardy in here that I just got because it looks like I've got humor comics in here, like Binky's Buddies. So it looks like I've got horror, humor, and romance in this box. Ooh, here's some more. Holy shoot. I found some more Bronze Age horror I got recently. Oh, this is great. This is a facsimile. This is not real. I mean, it's a real object I'm holding in my hands, but it's not a real old comic. So that's why it says $3.99 instead of 12 cents. Okay, so Young Romance goes in here. The only Young Romance I have now, this is a real comic, is 165 and 206. These are very hard books to find because they were sold to girls, and girls didn't save their comics. For the most part, they didn't. Okay. Do I have any more bags of boards? Oh, here's one. Here's another, what? Oh, this is Secrets of Sinister House, number 18. Look at how wonderful that is. I wish my house looked like that. Wouldn't that be great? Someone tried to sell it at a garage sale for 10 cents. You know, I guess that you could consider that obnoxious, or you can just consider it part of the history of this comic, you know. Looks like they've got a reprint in the back, which is okay. I never had either of those posters. Put a comment down below if you ever did. And I've never had any of these stickers either. I don't think that would have gone over well if I put those on the wall as a kid. Okay, so Secrets of Sinister House number 18. 14. Here's 15. This is also a childhood copy. 16. I remember buying this when I lived in San Antonio. I remember that well. 17 is also a childhood copy. And then I'm adding 18, and I don't know if this is the last issue or not, but it's the last issue I've got, because then I moved to Secrets of Haunted House. Seems like Secrets of Haunted House would be before the alphabet, before Secrets. I'm going to pull out my entire Secrets of Haunted House collection, put it in front of Secrets of Sinister House, because the OCD in me is saying that's not alphabetically correct. I've got all my plops in here, my entire collection of plop. That was a wonderful thing from my childhood. Here's I don't know. Oh, here's bags. Well, I'll show it to you first. I've shown it to you before, but I don't know that you watch every episode. Probably not. I love it when Sergio Aragones does art in these books. Anyway, wonderful. This is number 11, April 73. April 73 would make this coming out March, February of 73. That means I was right in the middle of second grade. I was living in Hampton, Virginia when this book came out, and this cover probably didn't attract me as much as other ones next to it on the rack that had skulls, or maybe that were Dennis the Menace comics, or Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night, Ghost Rider. Who knows what I was buying. Second grade, I was more into horror than into superheroes. Didn't really come along until late third grade. Secrets of Sinister House, number 11. Okay, so after number 8 that I just got today, this will be my second oldest Secrets of Sinister House. Now this one is Secrets of Haunted House. Now that looks like a cover that would have attracted me because it has a skull. It's number 4. It's interesting that they've got they've got Kane from House of Mystery, they've got Abel from House of Secrets, the old witch from The Witching Hour, and I forget what comic he was over. There was another horror comic that had that guy. Yeah, DC and Marvel at this point were both embracing horror very heavily in the early 70s. Doing this show, I have no idea what's going on in the world. The war could have erupted horribly in the Middle East, and I'm just here looking at comics. But I guess I'll find out when we get done, or I could go down and look at the TV. Secrets of Haunted House, number 4. Okay, there's number 1, number 2, see, this is when it gets hard. When you have a purple background and black ink on top of it, and you're 59, your eyes get a little, and number 8. I could have seen that if I was still, in 6th grade. So that's number 8. So this one would be filed in between 4 and 8. There's Phantom Stranger number 33 that I need to file in here.
I like Orloff, but it doesn't like me.
Good.
Relief from acid indigestion and gas starts in less than a minute. I like corned beef. I like rice. I like spaghetti and meatballs, but they don't like me. If you like something that doesn't like you,
I need to find my.
Godzilla relief starts in less than a minute. Patient use only as directed.
Oh, there's still some more books that I haven't shown you that I got today. They're not anything high dollar or anything. I got this for just a couple of bucks. It's DC Comics Presents that I don't have, and it just looks intriguing.
If there's a brand new baby at your house who needs changing every minute or two, fresh diapers delivered right to your door. Best thing for baby.
Yeah, this looks like this is going to be a fun story to read. It's Super Prisoners of Love, 50 cents. This is probably from about, what would you say, about 79, 80? I'm trying to remember. Oh, April 81. Yeah. Well, I would have been 16 when this comic came out. Yeah.
See for yourself what's turning our town into Dodge City. See the Dodge boys now and get their good guy deal on the all-new 71 Charger, 71 Coronet, 71 Dodge. Only the Dodge boys are serious about saving you money in 71.
I got a bunch of Silver Age books I want to get filed over there today. And I also wanted to go play with that SSP car. But let me see here. Green Lantern, Iron Man, Metal Men, Superboy, Superman, X-Men. Strange Adventure. Oh, Strange Adventures. Over there should be a DC War box. Let's see how we can't find that. Steve.
Put more flavor in your life, more fun, more cheer. With a
Here we go.
Black Label beer.
Why not put more flavor in your life?
The way is clear. Get Carling Black Label. Black Label beer.
Got all kinds of stuff on top of the box. Look at this jiggler.
Your taste of flavor.
I put this somewhere.
Refreshing for you.
If your pleasure seems to you, you know what to do.
Label, Black Label, a beer with more, a beer with more, a beer with more.
helps having this extra light in here, this little light I've got here on the floor. It's helping me find these boxes a lot more easily because it's just a little light. So that's telling me I need to bring another lamp in here or something. And I'll be less frustration. I'll be able to find things more easily. Okay, this is Weird War. Weird War. Weird War. Weird Western Tales. Oh, here's Witching Hour. Oh, good. So, this Witching Hour I just got today will go into this box. Look at that, man. You see that?
Precision planting makes it best. Your accurate dealer does the rest.
Okay, Witching Hour 70.
Your accurate dealer does the rest. Give your wedding plan.
Look at this. I happen to have the very first issue of It's Midnight, The Witching Hour. And then I don't have another one until 17. But this book here is one of the oldest comics in my collection. This is one I bought, number 21. I've got 2 copies of it. This is probably my childhood copy here. I need to write on the back, childhood copy. I always put the childhood copy last. Anyway. I don't have as many of these as I would like to have. There we go. Let's get that one.
You're gonna choose your Susan.
Weird War through Witching Hour. I better write that on here. Oh, I don't like commercials with this kind of guitar, man. This is too recent. This is from the 80s. This is not pleasing me. That's better. Okay. Oh, okay. The other ones I got are I prefer Harvey comics from the 50s, 60s, and early 70s. This is a little bit later than I would normally get, but this is a bicentennial era Casper Richie Rich comic. It's actually still great. It's just there's something about the ones where they have the little TV sets lined up along the edge that show all the different characters that are in that issue. I like that time period better. This artwork really is quite spectacular and detailed. It was weird how sometimes Harvey would open up to an ad. Look at this. You don't see this hot stuff Hostess Fruit Pie ad very often. I don't think I've ever seen it. But then you have to turn the page, and then you have another ad, Sea Monkeys, then the comic starts. That's a very unusual thing. So this is a comic book. There's another issue from that same title. This is number 15, and that was number 12 of Richie Rich and Casper. Normally they're not teamed up, and the fact that they teamed them up maybe they teamed them up because people would always say that Casper was the ghost of Richie Rich, because you can see they look identical. But because they're existing together at the same time, you know that he's already dead and he's still alive, so they're two separate souls. So, actually, this artwork's wonderful. I guess I don't know. I have this, and it's not to the era of the UPC code. Usually UPC codes is when I start to get leery of comics, because it's like, that's from the late 70s, that's from the 80s. I like the stuff from when I was a kid. But you know, it's still quite great. Bicentennial still was a time that I'm nostalgic for, I guess, kind of, sort of. And then the last thing I got today from the amazing package that came from Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona, was this issue of Spooky Spooktown. I got these very inexpensively. And I wanted it even though there's some like magic marker rub or something there that I assume that someone was writing with magic marker and then put this against it. I don't know what resulted in that. Oh, I just love Nightmare, the ghost horse. And Spooky's girlfriend. This is from probably 76. 75. June 75. So it came out April of 75. About the time of my 10th birthday. I've got a couple of long boxes of Harvey comics, and I just had them out yesterday, and I shouldn't have put them up because I knew I was getting a few Harvey comics. They're in this closet on the other side of this wall. Let me see if I haven't buried it. Yeah, they're buried. Look at this model kit. Predictable. I need to put this with my Futura. Where did I put? I think I put that in. Yeah, I know where to put that.
If you short of cash and need a loan, just call Columbia on the phone. Columbia Finance. Columbia Finance. Money for anything you need from Columbia Finance. Yes, indeed.
Oh, I put it. Okay, so this is the wrong war box.
fingertips. Pick up your phone and call. Let the ones that you love
Okay. Sergeant Rock. This is box 2. Sergeant Rock. Sometimes it's good to just stop and look at some of these great books. I believe that these World War II stories that DC did where the GIs are fighting dinosaurs, I believe that James Gunn is going to bring that to his new universe that he's creating, if I'm not mistaken. Here's 130.
Chewing gum while on the go helps you keep alert, you know. Hi ho, hey hey, chew your little troubles away. Hi ho.
That's 122. Why is it in front of? These are out of order. Okay, here's 122. Another copy of 122 with a tape pull.
Piece of delicious Wrigley spearmint gum and see how the good chewing helps you keep alert and at your best.
This is 135.
While driving, and at other times too. How about you?
So the 130 should go there. Yeah. Now wait a second. That can't be. 130. Okay, I was confused. This 126 has these wonderful go-go checks at the top, right? And then 135 doesn't have them. And I think it doesn't have them because this artwork is so great, there just was no room for the go-go checks. I don't know why. But then the go-go checks are here on issue 130. I thought once DC went to the go-go checks for like a year and a half or however long, that they just, I didn't know there were some books that came out without them. 133, these aren't in order, are they? Or yes, they are. See, I can't. Whoa! I can't. Sorry about that, folks. I can't read the number on there. See? So that's why this thing works. 121. Oh, this is earlier.
Rodney Allen Rippey sings the Jack in the Box song.
Oh, this turns out to be my oldest one. I guess I couldn't read the number. I must have misread it. It's out of order. Rodney Allen Rippey, that used to do these Jack in the Box commercials, had a big hit with Make Life a Little Easier. I don't know what happened. Is that guy still around? I hope he's around because he's probably my age or a little bit younger. Yeah, this song. That was big when I was in second grade. What was it, about 72? I'm assuming everyone watching this is my age. That's what the YouTube statistics seem to show. I have a few people that watch that are about 10 years younger than me. And there's 134. That cover was reprinted later on a GI War comic that I bought in second grade. But then this wonderful era where Enemy Ace took over, man, yeah, these are the greatest. 138.
Look for the sign of the lighthouse.
The price is
I need more of these. Here's 145. Well, why don't I have all of them reprinted in those phone book sized books? But okay, so anyway, what am I trying to do? Unknown Soldier. I'm getting distracted from what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to get is Our Army at War books, and that would be in a different box. This says DC War Books Box 2.
You skip December and hit 2. Seeing Steve's dark tan and sun-filled earmarks like the part of the sun that burns. Dark tan in the ocean, foam, joy. I see Steve. America's
DC War Books Box 1. As you can see, I don't have that great a collection. I don't have much. I see these people on YouTube that are 25 years younger than me that have got complete runs of Tomb of Dracula and Werewolf by Night. It's like, I was there when they were coming out, but I don't have every issue. That's because, it wasn't always that easy to come up with 20 cents for a comic. And I guess today you can just go on mycomicshop.com and click, put them in your basket, get them from eBay, and pretty soon, one stimulus check and you've got complete runs of all these books. But then I hear them talk about, I'm getting rid of my Tomb of Draculas and Werewolf by Nights because I don't really have any interest in these books. That's because they weren't books from your childhood. And GI Combat. This is what I was talking about. This is the book I got in 2nd grade, and it's a reprint of that cover I just showed you. But this is my childhood copy. That other one was one I got later to upgrade. Men of War, Our Fighting Forces. Okay. Where did I put those? Oh. Where did they go? Man. Oh, here they are. Our Army at War. This came out recently, within a month or two ago. This is a reprint of the first appearance of Sergeant Rock, and it's Our Army at War number 81. Well, I filed the facsimiles right in with the original comics. I know I used to not do that, but then I just gave up caring. Our Fighting Forces. Oh, okay, Our Army at War changed. Okay. There's Our Fighting Forces and Our Army at War. Our Army at War should be in front of Our Fighting Forces because A and F, A comes before F, but Our Army at War changes title to Sergeant Rock at a certain point. So I put Our Army at War after it so it flows more smoothly into Sergeant Rock. I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay. So this is the last issue I've got of Our Fighting Forces is this. And then currently my oldest issue of Our Army at War featuring Sergeant Rock is 167. This great cover. Look at this horrified look on his face when he realized he's just killed a little boy. Because in the last days of World War II, they were bringing in little, young adolescents to fight because all the fighting men of in their 20s and 30s had been killed or taken prisoner by the Allies. So they got old guys that still fit in their uniform from World War I, and they got these young kids. Okay, Our Army at War. So what did I say? That's 167. So this would be 81. So it goes in front of that. And then I had another one here. Where did it go? Oh, here. This is one I got kind of recently, also from Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona, 166 from the Go-Go Check era. Beautiful cover. So 166. Now I have 166 and 167, two together. Yeah, I love these things. If you want, put it in the comment down below and let me know if you want me to go through all the war comics. I'll be glad to, you know. Anything you want to see. I already have several people wanting to see Warren magazines and things. Whatever you want to see, I'll accommodate you.
IGA, you're in the center. I say any comment. Today is to IGA, where saving satisfaction is a certainty. When your bills wear the IGA label, there's more savings on the shelf and more help.
Okay, I need that Adam.
And save enough to shop again another day. Self-service shop at IGA and save enough to shop again another day.
You gotta make it. You gotta make your way carrying on. So things keep going when the times get rough.
The Mutual of Omaha theme would always play during Wild Kingdom, and that was always very depressing. I thought it was a cool little jingle, but it always meant, oh, there's school tomorrow, because Wild Kingdom always came on Sunday night right before Wonderful World of Disney, and that was like, oh no, school. Are Green Lanterns in this? Yes. Okay, so I've got all my Silver Age books in these boxes. So I have Ghosts. Most of my Ghosts, this is my only Silver Age Ghost. I consider that Silver Age, the 25 cent. Once they went to 20 cents, I file all the Ghosts over there. Okay, so here's Green Lantern. My oldest Green Lantern is number 11. And I just obtained Green Lantern number 52. Here's Green Lantern 23, or he's basically fighting Popeye. this is probably a higher dollar one, number 40.
You know me, I'm Bill Withers. You know me,
Beautiful cover, 46.
I was gonna be in music, but I had to make it happen. Got a lot of demos, knocked on doors, and along the way I could
Okay, there's 63. So this one goes here.
you want something, you gotta make it happen.
There are Iron Man books in here. Almost.
Application display where everything is welcome. The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
This is my oldest copy of House of Mystery, 88. Then House of Mystery became a superhero comic, and then it turned in 68 into the horror comic. Then it became this. And this is what it was when I first discovered it. Here's my oldest House of Secrets. I was sent this one by Night Tiger. So I love these horror books. A lot of people don't, and they never were collectible. Maybe they are now, but for years they were so uncollectible that they weren't in the comic stores. If someone bought a collection, they wouldn't put these out on the floor. They just didn't even want to take up room with them. So it was hard to find them. So then we go to Hulk. This is when he got his own comic, they changed the title of the comic to Hulk from Tales of. So it goes to Inferior 5, but I'm trying to. Damn it. So there's a box after this. It's going to have Iron Man and Justice League in it. I got to find that box. Yeah, make sure you patronize Gotham City Comics, or just do a little Google search. Google's evil, but all the internet searches are really evil. Just type in Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. You'll get his phone number and call him up. Here it is.
Have you ever heard of an error that goes around the world twice a day, every day? Who ever heard of a Parisian restaurant on the menu with 30,000 people?
Inferior 5. This is the Inferior 5 are beating up all the Marvel superheroes on the cover of this issue. Inferior 5 is kind of like DC's answer to Not Brand Ech. It's not as good, but it's pretty good. This is a facsimile of the first issue of Iron Man after, Iron Man was in Tales of Suspense with Captain America. Captain America, the title Tales of Suspense turned into Captain America, and kept going with that numbering. Then they gave Iron Man, who shared that book, his own numbering. So this isn't the first appearance of Iron Man, as some people, I guess, think. And then, the Hulk was in Tales to Astonish with the Submariner, and Submariner got issue number 1 when he was, and then Hulk just expanded and took over the whole comic Tales to Astonish, and then that was the first issue that I just showed you where those earlier issues of Tales to Astonish, to me, should be worth just as much as that. But they aren't. I don't have a very respectable collection of early Iron Man. I've got Iron Mans without, and Iron Mans that look like they're about to, just fall apart like leaves. This one I got from Gotham City Comics. I've got a lot of coverless Iron Mans. I don't know. You know something? That doesn't say. That's kind of. I've always said, people that know about Marvel through the movies think that Iron Man is what the whole Marvel comics is based on. But Iron Man was never a major. He was always a second tier character. I mean, he was big enough that he has a cartoon that came out in '66, and arguably the Black Sabbath song comes from they probably saw that comic somewhere and thought that's a good name for a song. But the fact that I have so many of these coverless Iron Man books, what does that tell you? That tells you they didn't sell, so they stripped the cover, sent the covers back to get their money back, and then these comics were given to the kids of the people that worked at the owner of the drugstore, or they were sold without, you're not supposed to do that, sold to kids cheaper. So I got to look here. This is number 10. This is number, this is probably before number, I don't know. Wait. This is actually probably not an Iron Man. This is probably a Tales of Suspense. I don't know, I'm just going to throw it in there. See, here's another one. And another one. I would just always find Iron Man's coverless, and it's like, well, I want to read it. But it just shows that the Iron Man comic was not selling very well. That's the fact that you find so many coverless ones. I'm not saying it wasn't a good comic, I'm just saying it was not one of Marvel's top sellers. Okay. Man. Atlas sure had some bad printing. Look at that. Everything's kind of off register, or it's kind of like you're seeing everything double. You look at the cover, you feel like you need glasses. It's a cool comic. Okay, so my earliest Justice League of America comic is number 17. And then I have 19. And, well, I don't know why 16 is after 19, but we'll fix that. Here's 23. 29. See, I just don't. 30. Now, you'll see other people on YouTube, and they've got much smoother, complete collections. I bought what I could find when I could find it, but comic books were never my complete. Well, anyway, I'm adding Justice League of America #1 facsimile before those. I was always collecting other things. I was collecting records, and model kits, and monster stuff. And, I was very movie posters, movie soundtracks, rock and roll records. I was very scattershot. I collected many things, and so I don't have a world-class collection of anything, but I've got a lot of cool stuff of a lot of things, but I can't show you. Here's a complete collection of Justice League, all the Iron Mans. I can't do that, and I salute you, those of you that can do that. But I can't do that. Wait, what was that? Oh, here's another one of those Atlas. It's Margie, number 36, but That's the thing about comics owned by girls. Her name apparently was Marilyn Kelly, but apparently she liked a guy named Clint. Clint. Oh, you can see it on the nose. Clint Lynch. And she's probably, if she had more room, she'd probably be practicing Marilyn Lynch for when they got married. It's like, I've got to practice my new signature. So it's interesting, the history of comics, And I recommend this book for those of you, if there's anyone just getting into comics. First of all, run from the other comic channels. Actually, don't buy comic books right now. This is I shouldn't be saying this because one of our sponsors is Gotham City Comics. Support him. Send him some money. But for the most part, don't be buying big dollar comics. I made a mistake. We don't have much money, and I had made a commitment to buy a comic, probably the most expensive comic I've ever bought. Definitely, I've never bought one this expensive. And so I was going to send the money through, what do you call it? PayPal. And a few hours later, it's like, oh, I still haven't gotten the money. It's like, so well, maybe you just cancel the payment through PayPal and pay through, what do you call it? Zelle. Okay. So we cancel it, and then that money's supposed to come back to our bank account. And then so we paid it with Zelle, because we had a little extra money at that time. Well, so it went through, and I've got the comic. I've showed you the comic. You could probably guess which one it is, because it's the only comic I've shown you lately that's been like, oh my God. But, and it's not the fault of the seller. We haven't gotten the money back from PayPal. I can show you a screenshot. It says it's been refunded, but it never came back into our bank account. And our bank is one of the ones that was affected. This happened the day of that big cyber attack a few weeks ago, remember? I think it was on a Friday, and all the planes were grounded, and this was one of the banks they mentioned that was having trouble. Anyway, that bank can't find any record of that money. It's like, because apparently when you get refunded from PayPal, it just drops off. But we never, so that's trust me, that's not going over too well. That I'm, the world's about to fall apart, and I didn't waste it. It's a very nice, valuable comic. But this isn't the time to be buying comics. But my point is, if you want to read comics, and you want to get Silver Age comics, this is a Silver Age comic that reprints these early issues, and you can get these books really cheaply, sometimes for less than $5, because collectors don't want them. But this is a book from the 60s that reprints books from a few years before. So you open it, it feels like you're reading a 60s comic. It's got the smell of a 60s comic, and you're reading these great stories that. So Marvel Collector's Item Classics that would later change its name to Marvel's Greatest Comics, and Marvel Tales that reprinted the early Spider-Man stories. I mean, those are the books, if you're just getting started, that will provide you with a lot of pleasure, and will not. And something, you won't be able to watch TV when they turn off the power, probably in September. That's what they're talking about, big blackouts, and all that. That's what people are predicting. Anyway, you can still read comics and, just open the drapes, can't read them at night, but unless you got one of these. Oh my gosh, this light's pretty bright. They say that you don't shine these in your eyes, man. This is super bright, insanely bright light. I got it at a hardware store. I imagine you can get them pretty easily. When I got one of these, all of a sudden everybody else in the comic book community was getting them. You know, the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hill's got one. I make fun of the word community because it's just such a communist word. Oh man. Oh, what a pain in the neck. So why can't I find I'm trying to put this Atom book somewhere, and I just can't find the box.
Discounts there for you. Get quality, value, and savings when you shop at Springdale Mall. Summit is the best of the time. When the stuff is good, this is why it's assured you love Summit. After only one bite, 'cause it's peanuts, wafers, and light.
New Summit cookie bars. They're chocolatey with crisp baked wafers and crunchy peanuts sprinkled on top.
You love Summit. After only one bite, 'cause it's peanuts, wafers, and peanuts, wafers, and light. Open up to the unexpected, and the world will be a very cool place. When you're looking for a new sensation, look past the cool.
Okay, so somewhere there's a box with Adventure Comics. There it is. Looks to be the very bottom of this giant stack. It's Marvel Romance. What's in here? These commercials are two 1980s here. Let's play some music from the Marvel Superheroes cartoon, which was library music. Okay, I just saw Metal Men. Okay, it's a coverless Metal Men, but it's a Metal Men. Okay. No, man. Where? Oh, Atom is before Avengers. This cartoon was based on the comic book from around this time period, and this is the music that would play while you'd see these characters kind of sort of animated. But this was the time period right in here It was a Captain America, Iron Man, Submariner, Hulk, and who did I leave out? Thor. Atom. As I suspected, I don't have many Atom comics. I'd love to have more Atom comics. Here's Atom number 16. Atom number 44. They combined them with Hawkman. And this is Atom 30. There's another one that doesn't have a bag and board, maybe. But now it does, thanks to Gotham City Comics. Here's a fake, this is how Marvel does the facsimile. See how they put too much space at the top, and then they put this darn code here. But at least they're trying. But obviously this is a facsimile. And this looks impressive, but notice there's no price tag. That means that this came with the book and record set from around 1966. So it still has some value. It still has quite a bit of value, but not like it was the actual first, not first Silver Age appearance of Captain America. Here's another copy, also from the book and record set. This has got a little tear there. And then I have fake Avengers number 8. And then I have a real Avengers 13, and that's my oldest real Avengers comic. And I've got every issue of Avengers, complete run from issue 13 up until the mid-1970s, and then I've got a bunch of others, but that complete unbroken run came courtesy of a friend that just donated his whole Avengers collection to me. And then there's a few issues that, you know, in that run that I have duplicates of because I had one of them. But boy, that was one of the most amazing presents I've ever gotten. That was right before the pandemic. Aquaman to Avengers. Okay, so now I would really like to file this Strange Adventures, which I feel is going to be in a box near Superboy, which I think I just saw. This is the body of the Batman puppet that my grandmother gave me when I was like 3 years old. I have the head too, it's downstairs. But then later I bought a brand new looking one, Batman and Robin. But this one I bought years later. This is a Captain America from the same time period, but it was owned by a hippie. And you see the hippie gave him a beard, and it says, I, Captain Hippie, and he's got little tabs of LSD, and he's been defaced by This is another way to have a lot of fun, is to get these giant 80-page giants. I think this is a rare romance comic, Love, 1971, Super DC Giant. And my oldest Superman comic, well, that's not real, it's a facsimile. So my oldest real Superman comic is 136. Okay, so I need the box in front of this for, I need it to, man, that's not gonna work. There we go. Okay. Here's Strange Adventures number 161. And this one I just got. Oh, it's even older, 153. Strange Tales. That's how I feel like I look sometimes when I look in the mirror right after eating Thanksgiving dinner. This is the first Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's not the first Nick Fury. He was, Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, but that's the first time he was a man from Uncle James Bond kind of guy, which is what they were trying to do with Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Strange Tales, Submariner. Submariners, Sugar and Spike, Superboy. Plug you guys in. It doesn't tell me if I'm running out of power or not. Okay. Okay. Kurt Schaffenberger is one of my favorite artists. But a lot of times when people ask, what are your favorite artists, I forget about him, but his art was so fantastic. This is Lois Lane. There's number 16. I'm trying to put this Lois Lane number 70 in here. And I should already have a copy of it. Yes. Good. Okay. This is, as the morons call it, a key issue. It's Catwoman as she's pretty much seen as portrayed by Julie Newmar in the Batman TV show. This is the first time they brought Catwoman back into the comics in the 60s. Silver Age. That wasn't good. Still recording. Oh, I need to find the X-Men box. There, we're perfectly straight. Okay, X-Men. There we go. Damn it. I mean, dark. You guys hungry? What are you guys eating for dinner? Tell me down in the comments below. And while you're at it, hit the like button. And if you've watched 2 hours and 17 minutes in, would you consider helping out my wife with this this GoFundMe thing. GoFund.me. That's 1B 48B 26A. Please. I said even Wonder Woman looked like a horror comic in the early 70s, because it was just a horror smorgasbord for a little kid. Yeah. Okay, here's my oldest World's Finest, number 82. One of the greatest covers I've ever seen in my life. Every comic store you go into will have even if they have, you say, well, do you have any Silver Age? No, we don't have any Silver Age. Wish we could. We don't get that anymore. If you look in the World's Finest, you'll see that this issue's there, and they don't even know they have it. And you'll find it in every single comic store that you go into is this issue of World's Finest. I say I've got 3 copies of it. It's just, I don't know if it was just because it was at the height of the Batman 1966 TV show craze and it sold a lot, but there's a plethora of that World's Finest out there. It's a virtual smorgasbord. They're ubiquitous. It's $165. This is arguably the first appearance of Two-Face in the Silver Age. I mean, that's Two-Face, but it's not really Harvey Dent. And that would actually be later in a Neil Adams issue, but that has some value. Oh, another one in here that has some value. Let's see if I can spot it. They're on a plane. Yeah, this one has the famous panel where Batman's slapping Robin. It's like an alternate reality, imaginary story. That's a meme you see all over the internet, or you used to. Okay, I'm going through World's Finest because I know that X comes after W in the alphabet, and I'm looking for X-Men. Okay, look, here's my copy of X-Men number 1. See, it's in mint condition. It's actually a facsimile. Again, Marvel has too much space at the top with the facsimiles, and they got the horrible thing there. They also did a facsimile of issue 4. And then my first real X-Men is this. Kazar, which I've always called Kazar. Now people are saying it's really pronounced Kazar. Well, I don't care. I call him Kazar. There's a coverless. Again, X-Men wasn't a comic that sold well. Therefore, you find coverless X-Men that did not sell, that were... Okay. Here's X-Men number 8 from November of '64. I know that because somebody wrote it on there. It wasn't me. X-Men 8. I'm trying to file in X-Men 29. And then I go to 22. There's 24. Looks like I have 2 copies of that. And no, I'm not selling. I'm not a store. There's 24. One of those is one I got in the late 70s at Lone Star Comics. I'll make sure I file 29. Here's 27. I used to get these at Lone Star Comics for not much. I don't think they were more than $5. They couldn't have been. But that was the late 70s. And no one cared about the old X-Men. They were all gaga about the new X-Men, but the old X-Men wasn't selling. That's 28. Whoa. Wait a second. This is a real 28, right? And this is a fake 20. And this is, I know it's not a facsimile like they are now. It still has, looking at the cover, it's almost, it's almost indistinguishable from the real thing. This is the real one. This is the fake one. I mean, there's really almost no way to tell just looking at them. I know that this is this one came out in the 90s, part of a set that you got by at JCPenney of classic Marvel comics. And even though it has the cover looks, because they were sold as a pack, so it doesn't have to have the. But see, you got to be careful with this issue because you flip over on the back, and it's got you can tell, oh, it's a new comic with a Stridex ad. And it's the same thing all the way through. It's got the original artwork, but the ads are for it's a wrestling video game ad. 90s were the last gasp of comic books. It was an ugly scene. It was horrible. The comics became garish and ugly, and they put out 1 million different X-Men titles, and it was they killed Superman, and then they had people vote whether or not, to kill Robin. It was really a disgusting time, and people were speculating on comics, and they had Home Shopping Network shows about what comics you should invest in, and then after that everything went down, and I don't know who reads comics today. Somebody apparently does. It's 28, so the new one that I just got is 29. This is the newest acquisition, and I'm putting it in here. So then I need 30. I don't need it, I like it. Here's 31. Will I ever get it? Who knows? Unlikely. 35. I mean, I have all of this in reprinted form. I can read these stories, but honestly, the original books, handling the original books, seeing the original ads, you're touching history. And this was really a remarkable thing. This comic didn't sell very well, and Stan Lee kept it going. He just, it's almost like he had a sixth sense that someday this comic is going to do something. And and then through the early part of the 70s, it continued going, but just in reruns, no new stories. And it wasn't until 1975 that they came up with the new X-Men, and that's when, if Stan Lee had just canceled it because it wasn't a comic selling well, it never would have. They tried things like, they had this hot new artist, Jim Steranko. They had him do this fantastic cover, and another great Jim Steranko cover, and this was one of the first Silver Age comics I ever owned. Is this X-Men 62? I think I bought it from a friend in 4th grade, or traded from him, but he had this, and I got this around 1974. So that's one of my oldest Silver Age. This one here. That's another one that they reprinted, though, from that JCPenney set. This one, I think it's more obvious. You can tell the difference a little bit more in the coloring, as I recall. I showed this once before. Not that much, but it seems like, what was it that was different? Oh, yeah, it's easy. On the real comic, it says The Strangest Teens of All in white, and here it's in black, hard to see. So it's that just look above the logo, and you can immediately tell if it's a fake one. But again, if they're bagged and boarded and you don't open them, some of these JCPenney comics could fool people. Anyway, somebody ordered something from an ad on the inside front cover of this one. Let's see what they ordered. Let's see what they got ripped off by. What did they order? Oh, They ordered something from this Johnson Smith catalog. Who knows what they ordered? Perhaps they got one of these masks, or who knows. So, fantastic. It's the wrong time period, but I'm gonna throw this. This is another JCPenney reprint. This is the only. They only did one older. This is from, I guess you'd call it Atomic Age, Atom Age, Uranium Age. Some would call it Golden Age, but it's early 50s, and a lot of comic collectors look at that early 50s era as something separate and distinct from the Golden Age. I do. I'll throw it in here. XY. Okay. So, it's getting hot in here, man. I wonder how hot it is outside. Well, my wife and I had a discussion about whether I should continue this channel. You know, it takes a lot of time, and it just seems like all it breeds is hostility and problems, and you know, people talking about you and stuff, and then, you know, we had a real emergency, and we tried to do a fundraiser, and we only just raised a little bit of money, and it's like, well, she thought, well, so I don't know, maybe a lot of you guys weren't watching recently, but maybe you could help out with that fundraiser. But anyway, I'm not gonna be able to do scheduled live cast, because when I do that, I'm not around to help her, and she's almost not completely bedridden, but somewhat. And when I'm doing a live stream, sometimes I don't know that she's needing my help, and it's just I'm gonna, you know, probably need to not do the weekly dum-dum. I'll do live streams when I can, but they may just pop up, and, you know, not really scheduled. It just might, maybe, oh, this is a good time, well, I can do it now, but I may not be able to schedule them in advance, which is fine, because there's lots of other great entertainment on YouTube that are that show comics, and again, I'm only showing comics today because I'm organizing. I'd kind of rather be doing something else right now. Okay. Turning lights off, and I'm going to go downstairs and find that SSP, man. It's a lot cooler down here, man. Just wanted to put this car somewhere. That's a good place for it. Okay, let's get that SSP eraser, man. I have several of them. And then I have the Smash Up Derby. Those are SSP. There we go. And there's another one. This is, oh, I've been making some changes down here too. I set up my Planet of the Apes treehouse next to my King Arthur castle. Okay. All right, fantastic. Anyway, if you could put in $15, $20, $30 into that GoFundMe, it would help ensure that this channel keeps going. And because okay, and I found one of the cords, and I brought it in here. I know it's here. Or did I leave it in the garage? There it is. So it's been a while. Oh, they got Gerald Celente on the Alex Jones show. Tell me if this guy doesn't sound exactly like Top Cat. You ever listen to Gerald Celente? Probably not. Hold on. Turn the sound on.
We'll be that piece in a minute.
Yeah, turn on the cartoon, MeTV cartoon channel if Top Cat's on, and then play this sound.
What did Kamala Harris raise? Like about $370 million.
Does that not sound exactly like Top Cat?
She's running. Trump like $420 million or so he's got. I mean, who else could run for office if you don't have all the money behind you?
Oh well.
So how do you need money to make it happen? I mean, that's the world of today. So by buying these products, you're helping it happen with info. Now I want to talk more about the economy, because again, we've been forecasting this. Go back to your Trends Journal in May. What did we say? Sell in May and go away. That's the old line they use. Because markets are artificially boosted up often during the summer, and then they go way down. This isn't new. What's going to happen is we have to see what's going to happen after Labor Day weekend. That's when another reality is. And this is also important. This is August. Boy, it's hot up here too. People are in a summer state of mind. Most people are tuned out to the facts. Oh, but they're watching the Olympics. They know everything about that. They don't have a clue what's going on. The real market crisis is going to come to light
What
by
time? It's
mid-September.
almost.
But again, anything can happen between now and then.
It's about
So going back to the
2:35 here.
markets, when we took a break, I went to see what the Dow was. It was down 1,086 points. Gold moved up a little bit. Crypto is taking a beating. It's down over 10%. And again, you know, I've been on with other people on this show and on InfoWars that love
always
Bitcoin,
curves.
and I say, yeah, it's a gamble. I gambled it. You know, I bought Bitcoin at 17,000. That's when I first got into it. And I've always said it's a gamble. Gold is a different trade. And while gold prices are going down, again, everybody, everywhere, any place is going to forecast that they're going to lower interest rates. And when interest rates go down, the dollar goes down. And when the dollar goes down, gold is dollar-based. It's cheaper for other countries to buy gold if you're from those countries.
Well, and on that note,
We're going to see happen.
I don't know when you'll
And
see
again,
another broadcast coming along.
I would have thought the Fed would have lowered interest rates.
It's hard to say.
People in power and power.
It's gotten harder and harder to do a show. Things have gotten complicated. You know, when it becomes clear that there aren't really many people watching the show, and the people watching are not really very enthusiastic as far as either hitting the like button or you know, it's just, man, just if a few of you could contribute, it would really help, man. I'm serious. Anyway, take care. I'm out.